In this module, we'll learn to set up a MetaHuman actor in an Unreal Engine level so that it can receive facial performance data from Faceware Studio through the Faceware LiveLink plugin. For the purposes of this module, I already have Faceware Studio running. Our performer is already calibrated, and streaming is activated so that the data is being streamed out of Faceware Studio. Now we'll move over to Unreal Engine in order to receive that data and apply it to a MetaHuman actor. Here in a brand new level in Unreal Engine, we'll begin by making sure that the Faceware Studio LiveLink plugin is installed and enabled. We can do that by going to the Edit menu and choosing Plugins, and then in the search field, typing in the word Face. Here we find Faceware LiveLink, and I have it enabled already. If you have the Faceware LiveLink plugin installed and it's not enabled, simply check the Enabled box, restart your project, and you'll be ready to go. Now that we know that we have the plugin installed and enabled, we can go ahead and configure LiveLink to receive data from Faceware Studio. To do this, we go to the Window menu and choose LiveLink. Here we'll use the plus source button to add a source. We'll choose Faceware LiveLink and make sure that the IP address of the source matches that of Faceware Studio. In this case, I'm using the universal IP address of this machine since Faceware Studio is running on this machine, and the port number matches the port number configured in Faceware Studio. The subject name is important if you're going to be using more than one Faceware Studio instance on a single network. For example, if you had 2 or more performers, all of them using a copy of Faceware Studio on different machines, you can use subject name to identify each individual source when configuring different metahumans. For the purposes of this demo, I'll just name this Demo FWSLL for Demo Faceware Studio LiveLink. Typically, I would use the name of the actor or the character in the subject name. We'll choose OK. And now we see that that source is receiving, and we have a green indicator for our selected source, and it has a subject name of Demo FWSLL. Additionally, if we go back to Faceware Studio, we'll note that the stream indicator has switched from being amber to being green, indicating that it is not only streaming, but that there's also a client connected. Back here in Unreal Engine, our next step is to configure a blueprint for the facial performance capture to stream the appropriate data for the subject name that we set up in our LiveLink configuration. Having already followed Faceware's instructions for copying the Motion Logic FWLL folder into our project, we can find that folder here in the content browser. Double-click to open that folder, and we'll find the default BP MetaHuman Faceware Live. This blueprint is configured to receive the data from Faceware Studio and apply it to a MetaHuman face. However, the default configuration doesn't have the subject name that we configured in our LiveLink plugin. So let's make a copy of this blueprint by selecting it in the content browser and using Ctrl-W to make a duplicate. In this case, I'll call this duplicate Demo FWSLL. And this matches the subject name that we configured in the LiveLink plugin. We can now double-click on this to open it up in the Blueprint Editor. And here we find an Evaluate LiveLink Frame node. We'll need to change the subject name from Animation Values, which is the default, and instead choose our Demo FWSLL subject that we had configured in the LiveLink window. With this selected, we can choose Compile, and now we see our sample head responding to the data stream. Save and close. With this blueprint in place, we're ready to set up a MetaHuman that'll use this blueprint for facial performance. We'll go back to the top level of our content browser, enter into MetaHumans, and in this case I'm going to choose my Danielle MetaHuman. Double-click to enter her folder. Again, to preserve the original form of BP Danielle, we'll simply select that blueprint and use Ctrl-W to create a duplicate that we'll customize. This duplicate I'll rename Danielle FWS LL. We'll double-click to open up this blueprint in the Blueprint Editor. Select the face component for this metahuman, and we'll change the animation class to be the blueprint that we just duplicated and configured to receive data for this demo. So by clicking this dropdown, I'll enter the word demo into the search, and here I'll find my BP Metahuman Faceware LiveLink Demo FWSLL. Selecting this now configures this metahuman blueprint to receive the streaming data from Faceware Studio. We'll choose Compile, and Save, and Close. Finally, we're ready to use this metahuman. We'll drag her from Content into the level, tap F to frame up or fit her into the view. I'll use my rotation here to turn her into the light, and then my mouse navigation tools to be able to get a good view of her face. Finally, to begin receiving the facial performance data, we'll use the Simulate mode here in the Play menu. And that's it. Our metahuman is now executing the performance in response to the data streaming in from Faceware Studio. Once we're happy with that, we can use the Stop button to exit Simulate mode.